The Two Blue Vortex manga is about to enter its 7th chapter, but neither there is any sign of Momoshiki nor is Boruto bothered to use the Kama. While the fate of the otsutsuki is one of the most gigantic mysteries, cause there are no clues for us to conclude what exactly happened to him, but when it comes to the Kama, we have seen Boruto using it in the flash forward, which means he is deliberately avoiding it. So what could be the reason behind this? Well, there are a lot of factors which could lead to Boruto choosing not to use the Kama. The first and the most reasonable one was kind of teased in the 6th chapter. When Boruto left Konoha, he was about to take the name of somebody whom he needs to protect, but just at the last moment, he swallowed his words. I believe he was gonna take Naruto's name, but by doing that, it would have revealed to Sarada, Sumire and Mitsuki that the 7th is actually alive. This would have endangered the reputation of Kawaki and could have made everyone hate him even more. But just because Boruto wants to resolve this conflict as brothers, chances are he's trying to not get Kawaki in trouble. It's pretty obvious if the whole shinobi world finds out the schemes of Kawaki, they all will want to eliminate him at any cost. But Boruto still has hope in his brother, and this is probably why he doesn't want to expose him. And by this we get the very first reason for Boruto to avoid using the Kama. Everyone who's suspicious about Kawaki will get assurance about the Kama brothers switching lives when they see Boruto using the natural Kama of Momoshiki. In the eyes of everyone, Boruto should have the artificial Kama of Amado, but since he knows that using the seal could get Kawaki in trouble, he decided to avoid using it in Konoha. This practically enhances the chances for him to use the Kama seal in his battle against Mitsuki. There is no one around who could see the Kama of Momoshiki to decipher the truth, and it will also come handy in absorbing the ninjutsu based abilities of Mitsuki. Now that we have got a really good reason for Boruto's avoidance of the Kama within the borders of Konoha, what could have stopped him from using this seal against the Shinjus? You could argue that they were too overpowered to deal with, but Boruto could have still used the Kama to at least absorb a few attacks like the lightning release of Hidari. So are there any other reasons which are restricting Boruto from using the Kama? I have got some interesting takes which kinda explain why he is acting this way. Before I get into them, please hit the subscribe button to stay updated with daily amazing Boruto content. So the first reason for Boruto to avoid the usage of Kama could be because his other powers have surpassed his otsutsuki abilities. We know he had some really great raw potential from the beginning, and his otsutsuki transformation only made him much more stronger. So if his normal abilities are powerful enough to deal with the present nuisances, he technically doesn't require the Kama unless the situation demands it. But what if the truth is more screwed than that? It could be that Boruto stopped using the Kama on the recommendation of Kashin Koji. If he was able to teach him really disastrous techniques like the Uzuhiko, then he must have some good otsutsuki knowledge as well. The reason for him to advise Boruto in avoiding the Kama could have something to do with Momoshiki. Every time in the story when the otsutsuki has appeared, Boruto had been using the Kama moments before that, like during the Kawaki fight, the first code fight, and even the Ishiki battle. The Kama absorbs too much of chakra from the vessel, leaving a door open for the host otsutsuki to appear, and maybe Koji knew this drawback of the otsutsuki seal, so he decided to teach Boruto more powerful techniques so that he doesn't have to rely on the Kama. All in all, this means Boruto is just trying to avoid Momoshiki, which is why he is not using such an overpowered asset. But is the fear of the otsutsuki the only reason for him to not use the Kama? Well, it ideally makes a lot of sense, cause if Momoshiki appears, he will first take the life of Koji to drive Boruto helpless, cause the more his vessel is headed towards darkness, the more his chances increase to gain his permanent control. But what if Boruto's avoidance of Kama is more of a personal resolve? To understand what I mean by that, we will need to go back to the prologue scene where he claims to be a shinobi. I feel like if he relies on his otsutsuki powers, it's disrespectful to his shinobi roots, cause the otsutsukis are the reason for his situation at first place. This means he is trying to remove the otsutsuki tag from his name, which is why he is staying away from using the Kama seal. Maybe he is using it in the prologue as a last resort, cause this time Kawaki has actually went too far. However, there is something that I noticed about Boruto's Kama activation, which could give us a whole new perspective in understanding why he's avoiding it. And if the theory that I'm about to discuss actually comes true, then I don't think we should expect him to use this seal for quite a while. We haven't seen Boruto using the Kama ever since his right eye was destroyed. The only time he was seen using the otsutsuki seal with his scarred eye is during the prologue scene. And what's interesting in this sequence is that Boruto simultaneously activates the Jogan with the Kama as if they are synchronized. Could this mean that his Kama powers his right eye, which is obviously the Jogan, and the reason he isn't using it is to save his trump card for the very end? This hints at Boruto already awakening the pure eye during the time skip and the Kama fueling this power upon activation. If he uses the Kama by keeping his right eye closed, it would look a bit weird to me. So maybe the only reason for Kishimoto to prevent him from using the Kama is the preparation for the Jogen's reveal. The day Boruto uses the Kama would mark the debut of the Jogen in the manga, and maybe that's why he's avoiding it, cause he doesn't want to reveal his troublesome eye. I also believe the flash forward is the very first time when Boruto activates the Kama in front of Kawaki due to his weird reaction. He must have never seen him using the seal before, that's why he acted a bit surprised. This yet another time brings Kashin Koji into the picture. If Boruto had unlocked the Jogen and the Kama can act as a fuel to its activation, then the only person who could convey this message to him is none other than Koji. The Pure Eye seems to have ties to the otsutsuki god Shibai, and since Koji had been working with Amado from a very long time, he must be familiar with the godly lore as well. It could be that Boruto is following some prophecy of the otsutsuki world where he was destined to lose everything and train under a Sanin. It mirrors the life of Naruto, who proved to be the savior of the shinobi world. But when it comes to Boruto, his duty is to protect the whole universe. As Toneri prophesied, the Jogen will help Boruto in countering the dark times. Chances are he will avoid using the Pure Eye as well as the ability which fires it unless the forthcoming of the worst possible future. And by looking at the prologue scene, it seems like his battle with Kawaki marked the beginning of the prophesied dark time. Let me know in the comments if you think the Kama and the Jogen are connected. Keeping the Pure Eye theories aside, there are a few more good reasons for Boruto to not use the Kama seal. Remember back when Kawaki got sabotaged by a clog rhyme and he had to rely on his Kama to finish him. This scene was deliberately illustrated to portray how much of a power difference the Kama brothers share. Boruto was able to one-shot many Grimes with his sword, and being the weakling he is, Kawaki had to use the Kama as a self-defense. It means if he had to lose his Kama, it's all over for him, and considering his Kama seal is a scientific ninja tool, the story is portraying him as a shortcut taker who is fully leveraging the powers of Otsutsukis just for the sake of killing them someday. But this doesn't change the fact that how far ahead Boruto has gotten, and this detail in the story symbolizes the contrast between the duo. Boruto is more focused on relentless training to get stronger, while Kawaki relies on instant shortcuts to level up. The shinobi will of doing things the hard way is still alive in the heart of Boruto, while Kawaki is doomed to use the scientific ninja tools as well as power-ups in moving forward. The story is building the shinobi versus anti-shinobi narrative with these details, and chances are Boruto won't have to use the Kama seal for most part of the story. I remember people complaining the show is no more about ninjas, but by the looks of it right now, Boruto is developing into a skillful and strong shinobi without the use of scientific ninja tools or power-ups, and this will of fire is what kept him steadfast during the hard times, alongside being his pillar of hope when the prophesied dark future shall arrive. All in all, the short and simple answer to why Boruto's Kama is still missing could be because he doesn't need it yet. He has grown so powerful in his base form that using the Kama against people whom he can knock out with minimal efforts doesn't make sense to him. So if Boruto is seen using the Kama against some foe, it means the opponent is a really big bad news, just like Kawaki from the future. Now the question remains, Kawaki has faced a number of L moments since the beginning of the time skip. So what possibly could have led to his unreal glow up from the flash forward? Well, I will bring a video to explain this very soon. Till then you can find out more about the interesting fate of Naruto and if he forgives Kawaki by clicking on the left video, and you can find the reason behind Sarada and Sumire's immunity from omnipotence in the right video. Also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.